the United States House of Representatives, right here. You'll see 5 members of the Congressional Caucus chairing major full committees. 5. Maxine Waters, Financial Services. Penny Thompson, Homeland Security. David Scott, Agriculture. Bobby Scott, Education and Labor. And yours truly, Foreign Affairs. Good time to be alive. So I'm going to depart and turn it back over to these dynamic influencers, these dynamic leaders in business, so that they can share their wealth of knowledge for all of us to be beneficiaries of. Thank you, Denise. Thank all of you for being here. I love it when I come in here and see people here. You're here just to get this knowledge. Just take it in. Let us rejoice, be better for it. Thank you all. God bless you.
It's time for us to take it to a whole nother level. So let me share with you who we have joining us on this panel today. To my immediate right, we have Janice Bryan Howard, affectionately known as JBH. She is an entrepreneur, educator, author, mentor, presidential special appointee, founder, and CEO of Act One. As a leader of a multi-billion-dollar, award-winning international workforce management and technology enterprise, she is passionate about what we can accomplish when we invest in women and women-owned businesses. Her accomplishments, both personal and professional, are inspired by her deep faith and love of her family, and she often says, one cannot effectively lead without passionately serving. We also have joining us is Dee Robinson. Dee is an entrepreneurial leader who leverages strategic and analytical thinking to find innovative solutions that scale businesses. The common thread throughout her career is the ability to drive growth by integrating a deep understanding of customers, operations, and untapped opportunities. She is lauded for creating value, developing talent as a strategic asset, and driving social impact. She is also founder of the award-winning. She has authored, like Janice, many books, including Snap It, Leaning Forward, Living Bravely, and bestseller, let's see, Courage by Design. And next to Dee, we have Carla Trout. Carla is the president and chief executive officer of Electrosoft Incorporated. You will hear us refer to it as ESI throughout this conversation. It is an electronics manufacturing and engineering firm based in Pennsylvania. The breadth of her experience in business extends to supply chain logistics, purchasing, global scheduling, and e-commerce, where she has served in many key roles. Going against the grain, harnessing the power within, and bucking tradition is a common theme in Carla's life. Her desire to create a family legacy is evident in her acquisition of ESI. She's an influential voice, and she cuts through the narrative of what is expected of a leader in her industry, setting a precedence for future leaders. And she too is an author. She has a book. It is called Dark, Dirty, Dangerous, Building the Vibrant Future of Manufacturing, and it happens to be an Amazon bestseller. And last but not least, we have Ms. Tanya Hicks. Tanya Hicks is an accomplished leader and trailblazer in the construction and energy sector. As the president and CEO of Power Solutions Incorporated, and the managing principal of Women Do Everything LLC. Tanya has made significant contributions in several male-dominated industries, women-dominated up here on the stage today. With a passion for excellence, Tanya's journey began as she broke barriers, becoming the first woman to become a journeyman inside the wireman electrician, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, known as IBEW, Local 917. And she is also the first Black woman to become an IBEW journeyman electrician in the whole state of Mississippi. So, that is our panel, and like I said, we are getting ready to have a great conversation and discussion about the real power of the intersection between business and technology. And how I think I'd like to get things started is I'm going to ask each of you to share your why in just one sentence. Share your why. What's your passion and is driving you for success? And we'll start with Janice.
All right. Why? Please first, thank you, Steve, for having us speak. It really is but why? Let us have time. Is this good?
Yes.
Okay. So I think my why does have a tie to this conversation about being at this moment and now. I have found that over my life, I've always committed myself to honoring my parents. And any of you who read my books or know anything about me, you know I'm really strong on family. I think my why, briefly stated, is family and generationally family. Having sought to live my life in a way that my parents could be proud of me has elevated for me now to the point that not only am I looking at how that translates for my children, but I'm a grandma. Last year, this time, I didn't know I was going to be a grandma, y'all, and now I got two little angels who are going to be under my tree this year. One is my granddaughter, Aria, her mother is Hispanic, so she calls her Aria Carolina. I'm from North Carolina, so you know what we call her, Aria Carolina, and her dad is right there on my side. And then I have a grandson, Jet, and Aria and Jet have purposed me much more dynamically than I imagined I ever would be. Generationally to my family and generationally to the family of humankind. That's my why.
See?
Well, I also want to thank you all for being here. I think you all for the opportunity. Thank you, and your amazing team. Where is Ellie? Gotta give her a shout. Where is she? Okay, well, we just gotta make sure before we all in here give her a shout out. But my why is actually quite simple. We talked about my book, Courage by Design. I wrote it because I thought a lot of people were sitting on the sidelines of life, afraid. And afraid to just take chances. They were also too busy listening to other people and what they said. And if I had listened to them, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you today. So this why is really driven by one, showing you all what's possible, also understanding our worth. We as people sometimes don't understand that, and even as we talk about technology, we're going to talk a little bit about worth. And the last thing is this, is to shorten the runway to success. I've done this. It has been hard. No one ever said it would be easy, but it's not impossible. Some of these lessons, the hard ones, you're going to have to learn, but there are certain things that you don't have to do that we know you can benefit from, so you can get there a lot sooner. So I want you all to get here a lot sooner than I did, and so that's really what drives my life.
Thank you.
So my why is legacy, similar to that, but in a different sense. My parents started a company that their grandchildren eat from. So being able to go in and buy that company so that they can retire and travel the world, so that I can grow that business, so that my grandchildren can eat from that. And that's generational wealth. And as I have gone through this world as the president of this company, I've never met a Black woman who owned an electronics manufacturing company. And that's a shame. Because of that, it's a new level of legacy of creating more women who own technology companies so that they don't have to feel like the only one.
I would say my why is, ever since I can remember, I've been a big thinker and a big problem solver. And my personal mission is to work with the world's most critical problems: energy, water, food, connectivity, and mobility. Without those things, our people will be literally left behind. And that's my goal.
You mentioned also the first three ladies to my immediate right have books. Tanya is writing a book. So, see, I think let's get started with you. So, multifaceted organization. You have food, you have retail, right? You have spirits. I want to talk about spirits. Help us to understand the technology that is involved with the business that you run and how you're leveraging it to try to take your organization to even greater levels.
Well, I want to start with one thing, which is sort of really get why we're here. Small and medium-sized businesses represents 90% of all businesses worldwide. We also employ or touch over 200 billion lives, and we also drive innovation. That's why we're here today, to think about the things that we can do in this world. And in this case of spirits, how many bourbon drinkers are there in the room? Come on, raise a hand. And then those who aren't raising hands, I know how to convert you, so we'll talk. But, when I started this journey, I was just curious. I was a bourbon drinker. And then when I decided to become a craft distiller, I said, well, then why not make bourbon? But as I look at most of my businesses, I also think about how we use technology and digital. I said, if we're not using technology or thinking about a digital platform, we are not winning. So even as I started talking to master distillers, considering the plans where we would actually make this bourbon and how we would succeed, first I wanted to go bourbon out of Kentucky. But then you have to think about the bottling lines, the speed, and all of that. But what's fascinating right now for our brand is I am now leveraging customization, AI, and I have now a lot of good example. Labels usually are traditional paper. It can take anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks, sometimes longer. And now we have discovered a technology that allows you to actually create labels within a 2-week period. That's from start to finish. Not only that, I'm working with a few hotels. I am now customizing their bottles. And I actually am planning something for this beautiful election, because she will win. That she will win with us. But how we can create these wonderful labels that I can customize. I can actually now customize a bottle that would probably require me to go to Europe. I'd have to make it cheap purchases, and now I can do that all through this technology. So it's a fascinating time, because I'm always trying to uncover what is out there. In technology, when you think about your company and growth, when I say first of all, we always should think about whatever that number might be, I want you to think about it 5 times. But then I started thinking 10 times, and 10 times, the only way I'll get there is through technology. But that's how we sort of started. There are many ways that we're using it, but this labeling process of way that our ability to customize the labeling process, the bottle, and the presentation is the thing that's exciting me most right now.
Thank you for that. Tanya, I think I want to jump to you next. It's slightly different industry, being an electrical contractor, and who knows, as Dee has talked about some of that expansion, maybe we might be able to support her with what you do. But, and Tanya, I also know that you've mentioned that you are also looking to maybe build your own manufacturing facility. And so, Can you share with us, how do you stay informed about the latest and greatest technology and how does that incorporate into the business that you do every day?
Well, I grew up from a very, very humble beginning. So I learned early on to keep my ear to the street. And now it's the energy street. So when you connect it to different people, being experts, and I'm also climate change expert, but you're around people that's all we're talking about is how to solve these problems, how to make the grid more resilient, how to increase productivity, how to increase energy. So that's all we talk about. And I have to admit, you send me things all the time. You can kind of look at this video. What do you think about this? I think it's being open about what you're trying to do. And a lot of times people are like, oh, don't tell nobody, like ain't nobody, done thought about it. It's like if you want help, you better tell somebody. Right? But you want to be selective about who you're talking to. And that's what I like about my partnership with seeing, letting them know I'm expecting. I have an OEM product, and I care about what my OEM needs of original equipment manufacturer. I'm interested in what they're using. So if they're not automating their lines, they're not using the latest technology, it's gonna put me behind. So that's why I love the automation of Siemens, because the teams that they have, they're passionate about helping you figure it out.
Thank you for that. Now Carol, let's talk. So your business is a little bit different, and we specifically wanted to make sure we had different industries represented on here because technology is really that great equalizer. But Carla, so you have contract manufacturing, right? So there's a couple of things that you do, but can you tell us how do you stay informed and with that evolving technology and the complexities as you continue to bring in different clients who need your support as they do not have their own facility?
So for me, because we don't have a product, we manufacture the products of other companies by contract. And so they'll come to us and we see things before they're even released to the marketplace. And so we're far ahead. We have to think far ahead on how these new technologies are going to be integrated and how we're going to build them. And most of the time we're working with design engineers who are intimately involved with that. They're in a lot of different relationships with chip manufacturers. And so just being in that environment helps us, as well as I've noticed that a lot of problems that we're having right now with, manufacturing's always been an issue with trying to attract talent. And it's pretty much a marketing issue because people don't think manufacturing is sexy for some reason. I think it's sexy, but really they don't understand what it is. Like the title of my book, Dark, Dirty, and Dangerous, says people think, wow, you're manufacturing, but my facility is clean, it's light, it's quiet. Everyone's working independently on individual projects and problem solving, how to create and build these items that our clients want. So one thing that we do is we always think, okay, the issue is finding people. We've always had an issue with just putting an ad out. Let's think further upstream. Well, first we probably should have called Janice. We should think further upstream. Why is it that people are having a hard time with manufacturing? It's a marketing issue. We also need to look into getting research and see, well, who's the people that we should be targeting. And then we would then identify who we want from the new, so tomorrow's manufacturer individuals are going to be women, people of color, and immigrants. So we've been doing all of this wrong. We didn't look at technology beforehand. And once we integrated, it allows us to make better decisions. So once we were in the problem, we were able to realize how technology could help us. So sometimes it takes being in it to figure out where you're going to need a hand.
Wow, thank you for that. And I'm going to go to the JVH next because you said we should have called her, but you can always call her now. So JVH, so you have an idea of, you know, the industries that we have represented here, and as a CEO, your minority and women-owned workforce solutions act. What advice would you give leaders on the stage and even in the room about workforce training and access to technology and that leadership?
And understanding who they are on the stage, not knowing necessarily who you are. Some of those answers are going to be the same anyway. So thank you for that opportunity. First, I want to share with you something though. There is a company that has reached out to us. So that's part of your answers. You can reach out to us at Act One Group. But there's a company that has reached out to us, Denise, to work with them for their workforce planning and for making certain that they are able to make the impact to the community they want through that. They're moving into my hometown, well, the area of my hometown, Charlotte, North Carolina. They manufacture tires. And they said to me, in order to be effective for us, understand that no human hand will touch the sap from that tree until it is a tire on the trains that run through our town. And these are huge tires, okay, for defense purposes and manufacturing purposes. And so you're right, you're absolutely right when you think about manufacturing and how work is changing and how we're all familiar with the idea of upskilling people. I think it's important for you as leaders, as CEOs. How many people out here own your own companies? Look at that. You've done an incredible job of bringing business owners in here. I think it's important for business owners to make certain that you're looking at the organizations you are either membering to or you are attending events of, and have them be adequate and appropriate to where you are in your business as well as where you're looking to go. I know we all, what did Mary Kay say, fake it till you make it, and we all got our little things well, by faith. Okay, but faith without works is dead. So you really need to make sure as CEOs that the organizations you are associated with, the money you're investing for your people to upskill and learn are as relevant to where you are as they are to where you are going. Be honest about where you are, and you can make a better decision about how you do that. The other thing is to keep yourself growing. Now, in our organization, we say we stand on our feet. Freedom to innovate, write it down, excellence in delivery, and because everything and everyone matters, invest the time to understand. That's what you're talking about. That's what Steve is working for all of us on the ideology of standing on our feet and understanding who you are, who your marketplace is, and who your customers are. And so not only is it important for you to invest your money in organizations that are going to be real for you, and many of them, when I started my company, I wanted to attend events and network with people who were in far higher cotton than I was. And while I learned a lot from that, I didn't earn a lot from that. And I see you guys nodding your heads, you've had that experience. So you've got to make certain that you appreciate how you can benefit from that. And then one other thing I'm going to talk about, these two ladies have hit on, and that is the importance of technology. You don't have to design all the technology that you make. I'm really excited about what I'm learning about Accelerator and looking at how it will move my organization forward. Now, we're a multi-billion-dollar company, thank God, okay? We still are small in our space. So you're nodding your head. You really have to make certain that you are, as a CEO, associating and investing in organizations that can help you from where you are to where you want to go. Aspirational engagement is fine, it's great. I do it too, okay? But you've got to be real about where you are. You got to make sure that you're having your people grow alongside you. Please don't be afraid to hire people smarter than you are. Your business cannot grow if you're the smartest person in the room every time. And then the third thing I'll leave you with is something I alluded to just a minute ago. And people always introduce me, they tell you even do it. And, we have our moments up, my faith relationship. Please understand, I'm a praying woman. I'm also a paying woman. Okay? Faith without works is dead. No matter what you invest in, no matter how big your network is, and make sure your team members have networks, not just you. I'm saying that because as entrepreneurs, oftentimes we're the face of the company. I've been walking through this convention center and people have been running up to me. They've been calling me some of everything, y'all, okay? But they knew who I was and they have a relationship to me for my face. They need to have that relationship with the people in my organization as well. We know Denise, we know her face. So make certain, before I came to this stage, I said a prayer. It's a prayer I often say, whether I am public facing or private praying. And that is, Lord, please let my mouth be a vessel for your voice. I think that's important for you guys as leaders. Where do you come from? A place of faith, from religion, or just faith in science? That my mama used to say, the more I see science, the more I know God. So I don't see those as, opposites. Make certain that you are not the only voice from your company, but that everybody from your company is speaking the same language, speaking it forward. I don't mean that culturally, I mean that inside of how you're developing your business out. You've seen the movie, what is that movie, One Band, One Sound?
No,
Make sure your teams are walking in line, okay? Thank you.
Please, I'd like to interject. Thank you for that. Candace, that was perfect. So first of all, I love her prayer because oftentimes you do get up, I know I do, and I said, God, just use me. You see, I want to be that servant. And but she says something really important and something I had to learn, and I'm loving that there's so many entrepreneurs in the room. You don't have to create things from scratch. Sometimes we think we have to do it all, and we don't. And when I realized that I can actually tap into my partners, learn from them, leverage their technologies for our own company, that was really when I did start to see how we could grow. And so, this beautiful thing with Siemens, I'm in airports, by the way, so I thank many of you, because I'm a partner with Hudson News, so I do restaurants and retail and airports. I see the technology. And then, Congressman Deeks also talked about airports and the opportunities there, and I've been blessed to also benefit from that. But I also say that I'm in those places because I did seek out strategic partners. I started learning from them, and then also understanding how I could also do what they do, or become great partners with them because we bring value, they have value. So Siemens is in here. This is the perfect partnership. And what also we have to understand, and we learned this most during COVID, supply chain got destroyed, but it was because of small businesses and the things that they couldn't do because they couldn't supply someone like Siemens. And so back to what I said earlier in our work is understanding that we have something to bring to the table. But again, you don't have to do this alone. There's just beautiful things, and don't be afraid to go out there and partner with someone and learn from them. And that might be, again, the opportunity for when you spin off, do something great, or build a legacy business as well. And because I know one thing already about her business, and I've only read a little bit, and I just had a chance to talk to her. She took her family's business, she brought her in beauty and technology, and she scaled it and made it bigger and better. And I'm sure the parents couldn't be more proud. And they're happy to be on vacation too.
Dee, thank you for that. We've been having this conversation and talking about technology, and I think if people know Siemens, at least that name, and we're a global technology powerhouse, and there's a lot that we do, but we don't do it all, right? And so having partnerships with organizations like your own is so incredibly important for us. And Tanya, it makes me want to ask you a question. because we talk about technology, but as a small and medium enterprise, sometimes you do not have as many resources. And so when you're trying to evaluate the technologies out there, sometimes it's overwhelming. It keeps you from doing anything because sometimes it can be so overwhelming. But Tanya, talk to us a little bit about how you start that evaluation for some of that technology that's out there.
To be honest, I have kids. So my sons, they do everything tech, especially virtual reality. You see the goggles and stuff like that. And I think our kids make us better. They help us. It's like, I swear my sons are my mama's IT support. They hook up for everything. And that's where it kind of, even though I minored in computer science, I majored in mathematics at Central State University in Ohio. Thank you. That's where my love for technology started. But just having kids kept me, like, what's this and what's Minecraft and why you building that and what you doing? And so when I found out that Siemens was creating the industrial metaverse, I was like, wait a minute, I know what the metaverse is from the video games and other things, but I was like, for meetings and conferences, but what is this? They actually take a digital twin of your assembly line plant, and they build an immersive world. So you can put on the goggles and you can be in your plant, the way you visualize it, the way you want to do it. And by building it there, you get to experience it and realize, well, wait a minute, that line too close to that line. But had you built the line what like I got going on right now, had you built the line with my OEM, spent all this money to build this line and realize it's not in the right location. It needs to, and it takes more time, resources, labor, and money to relocate and rebuild. If you had this digital twin, you can get into this immersive world. And I don't know if y'all see people with the goggles on. And I think Denise also had an experience with her son, with trying to fight. You're boxing and stuff. It's just like you're in your real place. So creating those digital twins and them helping you to identify things that you can do in your manufacturing, it saves so much time and money. And also, once you build it, they digitize it to make it where you don't have to have all these people show up on site, pay a service charge for it. I know one of them companies that charge for those service calls of an electrical contractor. When we show up, each one of my guys is $195. That's a lot in the, for any manufacturer. And so when you have a virtual, they'll be able to work and repair and replace code on the assembly line without even showing up.
And Tanya, some of these people may be more sophisticated than we are about how they look at working with a company like Siemens, or I'll be specific, working with Siemens. The idea is that it's going to be way out of your price range, or you're not going to be able to talk to Siemens. And hearing you, it sounds different. I know this isn't a Siemens ad, but we got to be real with people so that, they can hear what you're really saying. Is it okay? Because I was shocked when I found out, just how easy they make it. Because if you guys are in manufacturing, some of you said you own your own companies, don't limit your idea to the idea that it's a manufacturing opportunity. There are many ways that you can benefit in this AI-ness of things, but the pricing, she makes sense here. What y'all do pricing? But
and the thing is, I think sometimes when we look at this technology, you automatically think as a small business, I can't afford that. You have to stop thinking, because ain't none of y'all done paid check. What y'all been using it. So sometimes they have even open source things that you can use just for the sake of being able to use it and get used to it. My thing is be open, get in the game, never think about, oh, this is too much for me, or I don't have time to do this right now. It's like you just want to jump in. It's just like, and even with the trade show, going to some of these trade shows. And I know it's not the same as commercial.
Doing a good job,
I
though.
was just at RE Plus out in California, 45,000 people at this renewable energy conference, and being able to go up to the Siemens people to be able to talk about, hey, well, what do you
And what percent were black out of that 45,000?
6%?
6% in the hottest growth area industry in the world, not just this nation, only 6%.
Trillions of dollars are being spent transition into clean energy and electrify America. We have to get in the game. And I'm grateful, to have friends like these ladies. You pick up the phone and call. But like you said, even if you don't have access, show up at some of these trade shows. It's like all this knowledge right there on the trade show. You ain't got to pay them. When I first started my business, I had my company is 24 years old. So I started with a gateway computer. 3 years later, I was able to get my first Dell, and Dell was my IT support. I didn't have any money, had no IT, but I had a 3-year warranty. So I said, well, this ain't working. I need y'all. Yeah, but you just gotta, you'd be amazed how many people will be open, tell you what they did, and connect you with their resources.
Nobody on this stage is lending their brand to another company carelessly, fruitlessly. I care very deeply when I associate somebody else's company out of my mouth. I got to make sure that I believe in what I'm saying. And I think each of us up here are here because, number one, there are not that many companies that are actually offering that kind of partnership to us. And when I say us, I'm not just talking Black, I'm not just talking female. I'm talking about innovators, entrepreneurs, and starters of business. And so really, if we don't gain anything else from here, we got to gain the understanding that this is a place that is for real, right? Each of us have had for real relationships here.
Thank you for that. And I will tell you, although Siemens is absolutely a large enterprise, we made the investment and wanted to have this conversation around small and medium enterprises because we are interested in continuing to build relationships with small and medium enterprises. And I do want to point out one of my colleagues in the audience because she is the head of our supplier diversity program. Natasha, wave your hand. So she's also a great resource. And so if there's interest in better understanding how to connect and collaborate with Siemens, definitely she's the right person to talk to over there. And Tanya was talking about technology and made that comment because I was sharing with her that as I had the little goggles on and trying to play a game with my son, and I'm boxing a boxing game, and I'm just boxing, and then my son yells at me, and he's like, "Mom, stop! You're fighting like a girl." And I'm thinking, I'm a girl. Right, and what's wrong with as a girl? But it was pretty comical. But it is. I mean, technology is so important. And Carla, now I want you to come into the conversation again and tell us about some automation solutions that you think could be tailored to the specific needs of a small and medium enterprise. Does it ever seem overwhelming or a little daunting to try to have conversations with some larger enterprises?
It definitely is. To your point about cost, that's always a big concern. Not just because you think Siemens is a large company, and now that your outreach to let us know, hey, small, medium-sized business, it's an inviting invitation to gain more knowledge. For my company, especially now, a lot of big companies that we do business with have pushed all of our terms out, net 60, net 90, and then even then they're slow to pay. And cash is the lifeline for all of our businesses. So if we don't have money, we still have to float our AP, we have to pay all of our employees, and sometimes we get paid last or at all in many cases. So we need technology so that we can find ways to bring in more customers, bring in more innovative ways to drive growth in that business. One thing that we did is we realized that as a manufacturing company, and honestly, as a Black woman-owned company, they're like, really? Do you really have a manufacturing company? So we put a dollhouse model of our company on the website, and it's a VR ability to do a tour from your phone with some VI goggles or just from your computer to see that we are real and you can walk through the facility. So that was an inexpensive way to use technology to show that you're real, because people do stop from afar before they approach. The other thing that we did was we were looking at ways, we had collected all this data. We make something, we want to make sure that we are using our time wisely because we sell time. Well, what happens if we, how do we know that we're doing a good job? All that time that we're collecting in our data is really a trailing indicator. We need to know if we're losing money during. So we decided that we wanted to integrate all of our systems. So you think of a world-class organization, it is a company where all of your systems are talking to one another in real time, and you're able to glean knowledge to help run your business better. Now, I don't know how many people have companies that are already doing that, but it's really hard because your software is not built to talk to one another, especially when you have your accounting software, you have your banking getting downloaded. For us, we have our ERP system that's running. There's other systems, and they're just not designed to talk. So you have to bring in someone to help you with your vision so you can make those real-time decisions. Now, real time is still slow. How do you get better with real time? That's when you integrate AI and machine learning. So now it's taking the data and it's telling you, okay, this, after a while of really analyzing it and picking up patterns, it's able to tell you that, okay, you're gonna lose money on this job, so you need to stop and let's figure out what the problem is. Or every time you work with this customer, there's a pause in quality for some reason, or there's a lot of damages on this particular pin or term or connector that you're working with. So now we're able to make smarter decisions with how we're spending our money. So when we're trying to figure out where to spend money, where to spend our time, it's on making the process better on the front end.
Thank you.
I also want to add, even I think people saw Mr. Cook, that Tim Cook, that when he introduced the new Apple phone, Siemens also, and all manufacturers, have where they unveil every year the latest thing that they're doing. And I watch them every year. I watch Microsoft, their CEO. I watch multiple manufacturers and to see where they're going and how I can utilize it. I'm taking an entire division of my service team virtual, mainly because they baby boomers and they retiring. It's a joker in my company that they feel like if they die, I'm gonna reach over in the casket and say, "Can you go see such and such before you leave?" But the truth is, they're taking so much knowledge home with them. Their knees might not be the same, their back might not be the same. They can't climb and do the things that some of the younger guys do, but they're sharp as a whip and they love what they do. And so I'm utilizing AR, augmented reality, with the HoloLens in order for them to work virtually. We are the like I said, we're the electricians. People, different teams call us all the time, and using the industrial metaverse that Siemens CEO, the global CEO, introduced, my team will be able to work on their systems virtually, no matter where they put it. And that's what I love about technology. And they love the fact that now they'll be able to go home and be able to still work in their retirement part-time virtually, and also train apprentices virtually as well.
She brought up a good point about the aging workforce that I think technology helps us solve, that we're working on at my company. And that's, we're trying to, we've had a lot of young people over the summer, and we took a lot of processes that the older folks that are about to retire know very, very well. And we're creating our own GPT within our company, so it's closed. Nobody can put stuff in that's garbage, because a lot of times we've heard about the guy who did his closing argument on ChatGPT. It pulled all these wrong cases that didn't even exist, and he ended up getting disbarred. So by doing it an internal GPT model, our idea is that whenever somebody has a problem or a question, we save time within the facility because we sell time, because everything, we're controlling the information. So if they want to know if this is a good crimp or is this a good solder joint, and they're still learning, or even if it's just some institutional knowledge, they're able to pull it from that GPT right on their app and get the information that they need, because we've created it and we're trying to maintain that knowledge flow.
But I want to just add something about GPT, and there's these biases in it. Yeah, and so Carl and I were talking about this earlier. But again, it's also another reason why we have to be engaged in technology. We have to participate. And those models that are there are influenced by your inputs as well. Now, she's done a great job by controlling it. But these models are also not being built by folks necessarily of color. So of course there's biases there. But that's also another opportunity for all of us to think about what role we can play. And when we're talking about the limitations, and I think about them as I call the 3 A's. First of all, you have to just have an awareness of the technology that's out there. And when she talked about when I was going to trade shows, in fact, the technology I now use for my bottling, I discovered because I was in search of something. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew I would find something. But you have to be intentional about the thing that you want. And if you want to embrace technology, you have to say that that's just the way I want to live. And then the other A is affordability. And again, there's a fear that I don't have the ability. But there are programs, and you've seen this, think about this, they've made this huge investment. They've actually improved the ROI on that investment by making sure they share it with others. So it's just a win-win. And then this idea of adaptability. I mean, there are many people out there who actually can help you implement new strategies. Some of you might have seen the new technology in the airports, the one-stop, that's all technology driven. First of all, because most of you don't want to wait, buy things, so now you can literally walk in, have your credit card, and then just pick and you can walk out. That walkout technology is game changing. Of course, it helps us manage labor, which is always challenged with that in the airports, because folks don't always want to go. Gotcha, right, exactly right. But the beauty of technology is that it does solve problems, but it also doesn't has profitability. There's just so many wins there. Again, I think the only thing I can add to everything that I've heard here is that they have embraced technology. They know that it's there, and they lean towards it, not away from it.
How many people here, and a lot of hands went up as business owners, how many people here have businesses that are doing over 50 million a year, 20 million a year, 10 million a year, 5 million a year, $1 million a year? This is a prime audience to receive what we're talking about. You couldn't be in a better place right now. When we talk about understanding that you can work with a large enterprise, a multi-conglomerate enterprise to help build your business, never before has that been a potential for you. And so please hear what we're saying. Your businesses are coming from different industries and different disciplines. I personally believe that discipline ain't a dirty word, okay? After this session, please find out how to attend the virtual launches of new products. Find out how to work with Siemens in terms of how you can build your business forward. When I started my business, I needed 12.7 more people to perform functions than you do today. If your business is less than $1 million, technology can become a huge team and staff for you. We're in the staffing business, so we want you to hire from us and hire through us. But we also want you to be best efficient to yourself. Don't just hear it as an opportunity to manufacture stronger. Hear it as an opportunity to service stronger, to innovate stronger, to deliver your back office stronger. I mean, I am not an expert on accelerator, but I just wish you really could just share with them what we're talking about and how we're looking at doing this to improve our businesses. We're telling you what we're doing.
Thank you for that, Janice. Well, I tell you, unfortunately, we have come to the end of our road in this session today. But I will ask you, there are cards that are out here in the seats, and please take an opportunity to scan that QR code on those cards, because you will hear much more about Accelerator that we reference, but it is the open business digital platform that we have. Again, I share with you that my colleague Natasha is in the audience, who manages our supplier diversity program. I have several other colleagues that are in the room. But thank you, ladies. So to Janice, to Dee, to Carla, and to Tanya for all your great words and wisdom that you shared with us here today. So again, you are also incredibly important to us. Again, we have this session that was dedicated to small and medium enterprises for a reason. There is a huge interest, and it is so important that you look for these opportunities to partner, meaningful partners, and collaboration. So with that, I would say thank you again for joining us this afternoon.